For most of the 20th century, dinosaurs were imagined as massive, scaly reptiles. Movies, books, and early scientific reconstructions portrayed them as cold-blooded monsters dragging their tails across prehistoric landscapes. This image persisted for decades, shaping the way generations thought about these creatures. Yet, over the past several decades, paleontology has completely transformed this view. Evidence now shows that many dinosaurs, especially theropods, the group that includes the ancestors of modern birds, were covered in feathers. This discovery has fundamentally altered our understanding of dinosaur biology, behavior, ecology, and evolution, revealing a world far more dynamic, colorful, and complex than previously imagined. The story begins in the early 1990s in Liaoning province, China. This region contains fossil-rich sedimentary deposits that preserve not only bones but also soft tissues, feathers, and even coloration patterns in exceptional detail. One of the first discoveries, Sinosauropteryx, a small theropod dinosaur, displayed filamentous structures along its back and tail. These protofeathers were simple, hair-like filaments, likely providing insulation or helping with camouflage. This was the first direct evidence that feathers existed outside of birds, linking modern birds to their dinosaur ancestors. The discovery fundamentally challenged the assumption that all dinosaurs were scaly and reptilian. Following Sinosauropteryx, more feathered dinosaurs were discovered. Caudipteryx, another theropod, had more advanced feathers with branching structures, resembling modern bird feathers. These feathers were not used for flight, but likely served functions such as insulation, display, or signaling to other members of the species. Microraptor, a small four-winged dinosaur, had feathers on both its arms and legs, providing evidence for gliding behavior and hinting at the evolutionary pathway that led to powered flight. The diversity in feather types illustrates that feathers evolved for multiple purposes long before the appearance of birds. Feathers were multifunctional and highly adaptable. In small species, they provided insulation, helping maintain body temperature in cooler climates. Fossil evidence suggests that juvenile dinosaurs, being more vulnerable to cold and predators, relied heavily on feathers for warmth. In larger species, feathers often served as visual display tools. Brightly colored feathers could attract mates, intimidate rivals, or communicate social signals. Fossils preserving pigment structures, called melanosomes, have revealed striped tails, iridescent plumage, and complex color patterns in species like Sinosauropteryx. This shows that feathers played roles not only in survival, but also in social interactions and ecological behavior. Feathers also transformed our understanding of dinosaur evolution. Birds are now universally recognized as living dinosaurs descended from theropods. The evolution of feathers illustrates the continuity between the Navian dinosaurs and birds. Many anatomical features, such as hollow bones, a furcular wishbone, three-fingered hands, and specialized lungs, are shared between birds and theropods. Feathers were likely a key innovation, enabling thermoregulation, communication, and eventually the evolution of flight. They were multifunctional tools that allowed dinosaurs to explore new ecological niches and survive in diverse environments. Fossil evidence has expanded beyond China. Feather impressions have been found in Europe, North America, and South America. Velociraptor, made famous by popular culture, shows quill knobs on its forearm bones, indicating the presence of feathers. Eudoranus, a large tyrannosaur, had a coat of filamentous feathers, showing that even some giant predators were feathered. This suggests that feathers were widespread across size ranges and lineages. Even species previously assumed to be entirely scaly may have possessed feathers as juveniles, losing them as they matured into larger adults. Feathers varied widely in form and function. Protofeathers, simple filamentous structures, were likely used for insulation or signaling. Pennaceous feathers, with branching structures and veins, enabled gliding and later flight in certain lineages. Display feathers could be highly decorative, brightly colored, or iridescent, enhancing social signaling or mating displays. Feathers on tails and arms might have been used to stabilize movement, assist in hunting, or aid in courtship rituals. Across species, feathers demonstrate remarkable evolutionary versatility and adaptation to environmental and social pressures. Scientific studies of feathered dinosaurs include both direct fossil evidence and indirect inference. Bone structures, quill knobs, and muscle attachment sites indicate feather presence and function. Comparisons with modern birds allow scientists to reconstruct appearance, behavior, and ecological roles. CT scanning and 3D modeling enable detailed reconstruction of feather arrangement and anatomy. while analysis of melanosomes allows reconstruction of coloration and patterns. This multidisciplinary approach has revolutionized our understanding of dinosaur physiology, behavior, and evolution. Feathers were closely tied to ecology and climate. In colder regions, or during seasonal fluctuations, feathers provided crucial insulation, particularly for small and juvenile dinosaurs. They may have allowed some species to survive in environments that would otherwise have been uninhabitable. Camouflage feathers helped predators stalk prey and prey avoid detection, influencing survival and predation dynamics. Display feathers supported social behavior, mating rituals, and hierarchy, enhancing reproductive success. The multifunctionality of feathers illustrates how they contributed to dinosaur adaptability and evolutionary success. The evolution of feathers can be traced through multiple stages. Early protofeathers appeared as simple filaments. More complex branching feathers evolved in species like Caudipteryx and Sinosauropteryx. Fully developed pennaceous feathers appear in Microraptor and Anchiornis, which were used for gliding or display. Flight feathers, asymmetrical in shape, evolved in species like Archaeopteryx, marking the transition to powered flight. Feathers were not a single evolutionary experiment, but a continuing innovation with multiple lineages, experimenting with different structures and functions. Behavioral evidence further illustrates the role of feathers. Nesting dinosaurs like Oviraptor may have used feathers to cover eggs, similar to modern birds. Courtship displays may have involved elaborate feather structures on arms, tails, or crests. Predatory strategies may have been enhanced by feathers providing camouflage, balance, or aerodynamic control. Feathered dinosaurs were likely dynamic, interactive, and socially complex, using their plumage in ways beyond simple survival. Not all dinosaurs had feathers. Sauropods, ceratopsians, ankylosaurs, and many ornithischians were primarily scaly, sometimes with bony armor or keratinous structures. This diversity in skin coverings reflects ecological pressures, body size, and thermoregulatory strategies. While feathers were advantageous for insulation, display, and flight, large body size in some species made feathers unnecessary for warmth or protection. Evolution favored different adaptations for different lineages, showing the incredible flexibility of dinosaur evolution. The study of feathered dinosaurs also informs our understanding of growth, metabolism, and reproduction. Growth rings and bones indicates that many feathered dinosaurs grew rapidly, reaching sizes that deterred predators. Feathers may have protected juveniles from cold while enabling rapid growth. Nesting behavior, social interaction, and display feathers suggest complex reproductive and social strategies. Feathers were intertwined with life, history, ecology, and evolutionary success. Modern research continues to advance our understanding. Fossil discoveries, molecular analysis, 3D modeling, and biomechanical studies provide insight into feather function, evolution, and diversity. Studies of melanosomes have reconstructed coloration in species such as Anchiornis, Sinosauropteryx, and Microraptor, revealing striped tails, iridescence, and color patterns used in display or camouflage. Biomechanical studies of feathered limbs provide evidence for gliding and early flight capabilities, showing that feathers were functional structures, not merely decorative. Feathers revolutionize our perception of the Mesozoic world. Forests, river valleys, and plains were populated with feathered predators, herbivores, and gliders. Juveniles used feathers for insulation, adults for display, and social signaling. Some species developed four-winged gliding capabilities, providing insight into the origin of flight. Feathers allowed for a diversity of behaviors and ecological strategies, demonstrating the evolutionary creativity of dinosaurs. The evolutionary legacy of feathers is profound. Birds inherit feathers, hollow bones, and many anatomical features from their theropod ancestors. Modern birds illustrate how feathers enabled the colonization of diverse habitats, powered flight, and complex behaviors. The innovations of feathered dinosaurs laid the foundation for one of the most successful groups of animals on Earth. Feathers were not a mere detail. They were a key adaptation, shaping evolution, behavior, and survival. In addition to insulation, display, and flight, feathers influence predator-prey dynamics, social interactions, and mating strategies. Visual communication through feather coloration and patterns enhanced survival. Camouflage helped both predators and prey avoid detection. Courtship displays and territorial signaling relied on feather morphology. Feathers shaped the behavior, ecology, and social structure of many dinosaur species. Scientific debates continue regarding the extent and function of feathers in different dinosaur lineages. Questions remain about which species had feathers throughout life versus only in juvenile stages. How feather evolution relates to flight and the role of color patterns in social behavior. Ongoing discoveries in Asia, North America, Europe, and South America continue to reveal new feathered species, reshaping our understanding of dinosaur evolution and ecology. In conclusion, many dinosaurs had feathers. Evidence from fossils, bone structures, coloration analysis, and evolutionary studies demonstrates that feathers were widespread, particularly among theropods. Feathers served multiple functions, including insulation, display, communication, camouflage, and flight. They connected dinosaurs to birds, reshaping our perception of their biology, behavior, and ecology. Far from being scaly monsters, dinosaurs were dynamic, colorful, and complex animals, with feathers as a key factor in their evolutionary success. The study of feathered dinosaurs continues to reveal the richness of the Mesozoic world. Each new fossil provides insight into appearance, behavior, ecology, and evolution. Feathers illustrate the adaptability, creativity, and complexity of dinosaurs. They show that evolution is a dynamic process, experimenting with structures, behaviors, and strategies that enabled survival over millions of years. The legacy of feathers continues in modern birds, bridging millions of years of evolution and connecting the past with the present. Feathers allow us to imagine a world filled with color, movement, and complexity. They transform our view of predators, prey, and social behavior. They show that dinosaurs were not only successful, but also highly adaptable, inventive, and interactive creatures. The evolution of feathers exemplifies how one innovation can shape an entire lineage, influencing survival, behavior, and ecological dominance. The story of feathered dinosaurs is far from complete. New fossil discoveries, advanced imaging techniques, and molecular studies continue to shed light on this fascinating topic. Feathered dinosaurs illustrate evolution in action, highlighting adaptation, survival, and the creative strategies of life on Earth. They reveal a planet alive with vibrant, feathered creatures, connecting us to a world millions of years old and demonstrating the enduring power of evolutionary innovation.